going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and today I'm going to be exploring Shaw Boulevard by Mandaluyong area, west side of EDSA. It's a pretty busy area, and they even have an MRT station that stops here, and you can connect to Shangri-La Mall, then walk through the section of Ortigas. There's a bus station over here, I think, in another mall. But yeah, it's a pretty busy area, but I'm very curious to see what it looks like if I walk towards the Mandaluyong area, which I think they have like a lot of high-rise condos. You see the heavy traffic jam here in EDSA. I go here and I already walked this side, which it takes you to Pasig, and it borders with Ortigas, but now we're gonna make a right. And I don't got anything specific planned. I'm just gonna walk straight to see what are the vibes. You can start seeing there's condos over here. And then they have like this bridge over here. It's raining a little bit, so I got my umbrella with me just in case. The rain is kind of like on and off, but you know, I don't want to be stuck at the house. So rain, sunshine, no matter what, I'm gonna be out here. The weather's not brutally hot, but it's still humid, so let's do our exploration over here through Metro Manila. This over here is Star Mall. They even have like a little market outside. So it's like multiple malls that connect. You can literally, if you take the MRT, you don't need to go in the street level. You can literally connect through the mall. Over here I start seeing some high-rise buildings are being developed. No matter where you go through Metro Manila, everywhere there's development going on. I don't know if you hear this Christmas songs playing in the mall, because this is the country with the longest Christmas in the world. They start in September, they go past January, you know, so it's very good to be out here. And there's all the iconic jeepneys out here in the Philippines. And pretty busy, you know. I'm gonna walk straight to see what can I find. I know ahead of me should be a couple of high-rise buildings. Then clouds are pretty dark, so it seems like it's gonna rain later. Literally a jeepney stop there. They're literally trying to pile people up in the jeepneys. I'm 6'1.5", 6'2", so I'll be a little uncomfortable riding those things, which I did rode it when I was filming it in Bataan, but it was not too crowded, you know. It was the best way for me to get around the area that I was filming. But now let's walk ahead and see what can we find. So here, comparing to the intersection with EDSA, it looks like it's pretty chill. But this is what's going on. You can literally see this if you were to take the MRT. And look at this building. It's pretty new and modern out here. Like I tell you, Metro Manila is super massive. And I mentioned this like in a million of my videos, you know, like a lot of people, they focus on filming Makati area or BGC area, but there's so many types of neighborhoods to be filming out here. That's what I want to do. Since I stay here in Metro Manila, I'm going to try to explore the most I can throughout this region, and of course other provinces in the Philippines. But while I don't travel the province, I'll be focusing on filming a lot of areas in Metro Manila. Some people in the comments, they love that I explore every corner in Metro Manila as a foreigner, you know, because I'm pretty open-minded and I really love urban areas and action, so that's what I'm trying to do out here. So you can see what's going on, developing high-rise condos. Gotta be careful because I'm literally sharing the street. It's a little bit tight here, but what I like is not super crowded, so pretty easy for me to walk around. Another street that I want to explore, but that'll be for another video, is Bonnie Street, and I think that takes me literally to the city hall of Mandaluyong. I think if I keep walking this straight, this will take me towards Santa Mesa, where there's another area. I think it's part of Mandaluyong too. Mandaluyong is one of the municipalities in Metro Manila that I haven't really explored that much. Only part of the Ortigas sector, but I haven't really go deep into the Mandaluyong area. But there's so many other places I want to explore. I want to go to Valenzuela too, you know. Even though it's a little hard, but maybe I'll rent a car and then head towards Valenzuela and explore that area. That's still part of Metro Manila. It's in the northern section, but it's much more like a laid-back style, chiller area than other parts of the metro right here. And over here, it's a hotel. Look how tall the building is. Then the jeepneys over here, people riding it and everything. Then I gotta walk straight. At least I got the sidewalk to myself, so I can literally walk it, you know, pretty comfortable. Then ahead of me should be a couple of more condos or tall buildings. So I'm very excited to see what can I find here. Like I said in many of my videos, it'll take me literally forever to explore the entire metro. Over here is getting pretty nice. I also might try to do a couple of detours in some of the regular streets to see how the vibe changes, how it looks like here. Like I say, I drive by EDSA a couple of times and I see these buildings from a distance. So now I want to walk near it to see what are the vibes, you know, like what does it really look like. I gotta watch my step. Don't want to get hit by this behind me, but now let's see, what's going on. Gonna walk ahead to see the vibes over here. So here's an older building. They could do a touch of like paint it and stuff, and this building will be pretty top notch. Once again, I'll say it again, like in many of my videos, I'm the only foreigner here. Only foreigner, but the people are so friendly, they don't mind really where you're from. They accept you like if you're literally part of the family out here. So shout out. See, friendly security guard. You don't mind. If you go in the States, they're a little bit more serious, but over here, they smile at you. And that's what I love about the Philippines, that people are so friendly out here. The hospitality is top notch. And the culture is amazing, and it's really similar to my culture back home. Hey, what we got here? Maybe I could do a little, the condos are in the back. There's actually more condos over that way too, but I might do a detour here. So I wanted to go back there, but there's actually a gate preventing me from going. You can literally see the skyscrapers of Ortigas in the background. And this building literally reminds me of the Flatiron District. I just want to show you guys once I make it here ahead. This reminds me of the building in New York City, the Flatiron. So I guess this is the Flatiron of Mandaluyong Metro Manila. That's cool. Here it gets pretty cool. Ooh, the rain is getting a little bit harder. Hopefully it doesn't mess up my camera. Oh, they got like a coffee shop right here, barber shop. So there's a lot going on. So far I've been like 10-minute walking distance from the station. And here what we got, Korean food. Korean is pretty heavily over here in the Philippines. Gotta be careful while I walk around here. But I think ahead of me it's gonna get more interesting. So the rain is coming a little bit heavy. It's not even about me, I just don't wanna ruin my camera. So I wanted to make it to this buildings in the back, but it seemed like there's literally like no way, or maybe in the other street. I just wanna see the front area. Maybe the next block I can make it to show you these new condos that are that's being built. And then the street is gonna do like a little curve, so I think ahead of me is gonna be actually pretty nice. But yeah, here I am vlogging in the rain. Good thing it's not pouring, because in Manila or in the whole Philippines, when it rains, it really pours. And right now there's a typhoon passing by Siargao and a storm that happened in Cebu. So my prayers go out for those regions, and hopefully they can overcome for what's going on. But yeah, gonna see if I can detour in one of these blocks over here. Gonna study my Google Maps. There's a McDonald's here that's open 24 hours. And look at this McDonald's. And like I say, McDonald's here in the Philippines is slaps. It hits better than the ones back home in the States. They got like more varieties in the menu. It's a nice looking street. Look at these buildings. Pretty cool. This area reminds me a little bit of Camagong Road and Makati. A little similar vibe like that. Like a little isolated from the central business district, but much more chill. And this is also the reason I like doing this and exploring all these regions of Metro Manila is because a lot of people, especially foreigners, I'm a foreigner, but I try not to be that kind of foreigner. They come out here and they go like to the sketchy, slummy parts, and they make it seem like the whole Manila or the whole Philippines is like this, like very slummy, but that's not the case. There are good and bad areas. This is a huge, big region, and there's a lot of great developed neighborhoods like this one that I'm filming right now. Also, like I say, one of my favorite boroughs in the Metro Manila is Quezon City. They got a lot of cool regions. Let me see if I can make it around here and film the buildings ahead of me. So here's a gas station. You can put gas. Over here, just like the state that I live, New Jersey, they put the gas for you. Very friendly. I just want to pass in front of these tall buildings to see what are the vibes. See, and look how nice and well developed the street is. And then look at this tall high-rise condos that they got going on. The rain is coming a little heavy, but I don't mind because I got a really good umbrella. My stepson gave it to me, good quality. This umbrella over here cost me like $5. And it's solid, man. I buy a $16 umbrella in New York, and it goes to crap land. When it's windy, it goes upside down, like all the way up. This is good quality and solid. I like the way how I can just open it and close it pretty easily. So, yeah. But let me see what's happening here ahead of me, and then I'm just gonna turn back and keep exploring a little bit more of Shaw Blvd. Over here is like pretty residential. Seems kind of like a little semi-private, but this building over here is catching my attention. So it seems like it's not even fully open. It's still under construction. Maybe it is fully open. I just got to see here ahead. Let me just check it out. Okay, so it is open. They got the security and everything out here. Pretty tall. And behind me, there's actually more buildings too. So I'm just gonna walk a little forward here to see what else is going on. Also, it's kind of giving me a little vibe of Capitolio, the other region that I explored, but that's actually in Pasig. And you can literally get from Capitolio for Shaw Blvd too. And over here it's getting nicer. And it seems like the rain cooled down a little bit, so I can just turn it off. I just want to explore what these buildings are. Seems like they're brand new, like a little mini central business district being built here in Mandaluyong. I gotta lie, this is actually a very nice area with the trees, well-developed streets, and nice-looking condos. I like it out here. See how it looks? Like I said, there's so many neighborhoods in Metro. Look at this buildings, how well done they are. So many neighborhoods in Metro besides Makati and Ortigas and BDC that are nicely developed and nice to walk around. And look at the cobblestones in the streets, how nice it is. And then Detour and gated community apartments with their own parking. Well, nice looking buildings they got right here. You're seeing to my right, it's actually a golf club, so that's how you know this area is pretty exclusive and pretty nice. And this is another angle of what's going on over here. Pretty nice, you know, the cars that get parked here and drop off. And there's condos that they got going on, and then they got their own private parking. We're not too far from Green Hills. Green Hills is another cool district out here, but it's part of San Juan. Look how tall this building is, all the way up there. I'm gonna walk back towards where I enter and continue throughout Shaw Blvd to see what else can I find. San Juan is another district I want to explore out here because it's very curious, you know, the name San Juan. San Juan is the capital of Puerto Rico, where I'm from, and then it'll be cool to see what San Juan here in Manila looks like, you know. I'm just walking back again towards the Shaw Blvd district to see what's going on. I already explored Shaw Blvd by Pasig area, but now I'm trying to check it out by the Mandaluyong area. And so far it's impressed me, you know, it's pretty nice. I like the streets here, well paved, and the nice looking buildings that we got here. And there's also like a lot of trees. I think it's best if I cross in the other side, so that way I continue my trek. Now that it's raining a little bit, it's starting to get a little bit more humid. This time I brought a small washcloth or a small towel to wipe out my sweat. I think that's one of the things that I recommend if you come stay out here in the Philippines during, you know, hot and humid seasons. Always carry like a wash rag or something so you could wipe up, you know, your sweat and stuff, because here the humidity is like in another type of level. This nice looking building. These buildings can be seen when you ride the MRT. I know a lot of people, they talk bad about the MRT, but I actually like it because it's pretty fast, you know, cheap, and it gets me where I gotta go, you know. And then you get some pretty nice views of the metro part of Manila. Like I think the MRT, LRT1, LRT2 are good ways to see different neighborhoods out here in Metro. Look here, you got more business happening around here. There's an SM Mall ahead of me too. But it's a good way to see the city, you know, comfortable with aircon. As long as it's not crowded, but it does get crowded, but you know, if you're gonna be taking the Grab every time, it adds up in terms of money. So MRT, LRT are good ways to commute right here, obviously depending where you gotta go, but I'm gonna gotta walk a lot, so I just try to take it to the closest stop, and then I just walk around my area. So they even have an SM here, center of Shaw. I'm not sure if it's like a supermarket or an actual mall, but I think they have like a lot of malls throughout the stretch over here of me walking this. I'm just gonna continue walking. You see the street is really nice and paved. Then they got the bike lane out here. Gotta watch my step because it's pretty slippery. But then ahead of me, I see some tall buildings. I'm probably gonna walk towards there, and I don't know if I'll continue forward or I'll just turn back. But I just wanted to check out this side, you know, of Metro Manila. Gotta be careful while I walk here. The streets are not paved, damn it. Here we got a coffee shop, and right behind the coffee shop, a nice looking condo. It seems like it's new. More condos over here, so wow. A lot of these condos out here have similar looking buildings, like very tall, light color, and then like small windows, but with balconies. So, you know, it looks like it's a really cool vibe. You guys see some regular streets. Maybe I'll detour in one of them to see what are the vibes over here. They look pretty nice pavement with trees, which is what I like in the neighborhood. We got more going on. kind of giving me vibes like, I don't know, a little bit of Taiwan with the trees like this. I'm not sure where this would take me if I was to walk over that way. Then another view over here. This is called Es Laurel, this street. Just a little detour to close this off. Just to see what's happening in this street out here. So they got a couple of small businesses out here, small shops. I don't think there's really much going on. But I just want to see, you know, I love checking out the regular streets outside the main streets. But it looks pretty nice with the trees and everything. And here you see it's pretty nice. So yeah, it seems like maybe I'll detour in the next street ahead of me. And then turn back towards Shaw Boulevard. If it takes me there, I just want to explore every angle. Here, what do we got? Not much. I wonder if this is still part of the golf club. Then I'm gonna walk ahead, you know, probably do like a block or two and then end back in Shaw Boulevard to see what else is going on. But so far, I'm glad I came here. I've always wanted to explore like this street or this avenue over here, well, boulevard, you know, because it seems like there's a lot of action happening. So you can see a little bit of contrast, busyness in the Mayor Shaw Boulevard, then you detour here, and it's peace and quiet. So it's just proof that you can get peace and quiet in Metro Manila. People think that it's really hectic out here, which there are a lot of neighborhoods like this, but if you know where to search and where to go, you can find the peace and quietness. Just like where I was living in New York City, there are a lot of areas that are pretty nice and decent and quiet, so you just gotta know where to go, you know. And I love how the street is with all the trees and everything. Like I said in my previous video, Metro Manila, you know, has a lot of trees. It seems like it's private, I'm not sure. But from behind the gates, I can see it's a beautiful mansion or house. But I think I'm gonna head back towards Shaw Boulevard because it seems like that's where all the action is happening. Cause yeah, it seems like once you exit the Shaw Boulevard, just mostly private gated communities or big mansions like that. But with the fence like that, you can't really see the houses that well. So just gonna head back Shaw Boulevard to see what's happening. Construction happening ahead of me. So here, not sure they're gonna build a condo behind these buildings. Then here we got Taxi Yellow Cab. Seems like they try to recreate New York. I tried a pizza, and it's actually pretty decent, you know, it's good. You know, obviously the ones in New York is better, but it's pretty decent, you know, if you're trying to look for a good pizza out here in Manila. And here you see the busyness of Shaw Boulevard and the buildings behind me. Now the thing is I gotta walk all the way back there to the MRT to head back towards where I'm staying, you know. Gotta meet up with my family later, but it's good that I managed to come out here, even if it's raining a little bit. Not too hard. Yesterday it literally rained the entire day, but good thing I got this great umbrella here that helps me out. I'm just gonna walk towards where the buildings are to see what can I find out there, and then I'm literally just gonna turn back. But so far it looks really cool over here, you know, they got a lot of cool stores. Maybe in the nighttime it's nice out here. They probably lit up the restaurants and everything. So here you can see, pure gold, a lot of cool business. Even over there they got more restaurants. And they got this tall building, so I think my mission is to walk over there and then I'll just turn back. This is called Mandaluyong Park. I think this is like a mall. Seems like it. I think over here, I could be wrong, but when I was searching in Google, I found there's a Cuban restaurant over here that has 5 out of 5 reviews and pretty authentic, so I think it's right here behind this mall. So I eventually gonna come here and try it and hopefully I can blog it. Because you know, I don't think there's any Puerto Rican food out here in the Philippines. Somebody in the comments told me there was a Puerto Rican food in Manila, but it closed down. So the closest I can get is Cuban food, and I think it's right behind this mall where they got some food trucks. So eventually I'm gonna come and give it a try to see how it tastes, you know, if it's authentic, if it's up to the hype, you know. But yeah, and there's construction going on ahead of me, and then a big mansion over here covered with the gates. So some of the houses out here are pretty big and massive. But then there seems to be more action ahead of me. You can hear the noise. Whoa, that jeepney is loud. Those trucks were literally used during World War, I think, and they still use it out here. So Filipinos are literally built different, you know. They manage to make anything happen no matter the conditions, the weather and stuff like that, you know. It's always a vibe and adventure going on here. So I'm reaching these 2 massive giant condos ahead of me. And I'm probably gonna turn back and show you what it looks like on the other side. But yeah, it's being pretty awesome walking around the street over here. only foreigner, but so far the people are cool and friendly. So these are the tall condos. There's like an empty lot over there, so I'm not sure if they're gonna build something. Maybe they will, because of the way how they developing over here, you know, it would make sense that they build something like a little bit faster. Look how massive the condos are. This is the area where the condos are. So not much happening. You can see a new development going on over there ahead of me. I think it's actually better if I cross the street and show you the other side. So I'm gonna walk towards where the light is and then cross the street. Here it gets more interesting. Look at the motorbikes. Gotta be careful. Seems like there's more action happening here. I gotta tell you, whoa, the thing about here in the Philippines, when they drive, they don't stop. They might slow down, but they don't stop. So it's like you really gotta go for it, you know. The first time I drove here, I was so nervous and stressed, but then I got a hang of it, so I think I'm little by little adjusting to the system out here. Guess for some reason they say it's more fun in the Philippines. And it looks like those buildings in Brooklyn, New York. Like the same concept, flat, but they have a nice looking balcony. And there's more ahead, you know, plenty of condos they got going on. But I want to go towards where the light goes. That's safer for me to cross towards the other side. And then I'm gonna start heading back towards the MRT or Shangri-La to get some air conditioning. Because it's not hot today, but it's humid. You know, if you stay out for too long, it starts literally kicking in. I'm gonna cross here where Ata is crossing. You can see how nice it is. This is called Shaw Center. So it seems like it's a shopping mall here with a condo and everything. And then busy over here, people crossing, but I'm gonna walk back to see what else is going on. Let's start walking back to see what's going on. I'm trying to be careful with the streets. They're not well paved, but you can see the big tree behind me. Like I say, here's a better view of the condos. You see how they are tall with the small windows. Some of them have balconies, but I'm sure you get a nice view if you live in the higher floors. This is called Oliver Place, so see? Here you get a better angle of the buildings. Then next door is just another type of condo. They got like a parking in the first level. So that's good that if you drive, you can park around here. Then now I gotta do the whole stretch back. But I don't mind it, you know, I love walking. And walking is a good exercise. I think as long as I get my 10,000 steps minimum daily, I should be good. For the past days, I've been slacking a little bit because I've been driving and stuff, but back again to the walking and doing some cardio out here. Say hi.
Hello, how are you?
Shout out.
Shout out.
Welcome, Philippines, right?
From Philippines, from Bicol.
Bicol? And that's an example of how friendly people are here. I wasn't even filming this guy. He wanted to be. He said he wanted to do a shout out in the video, so I filmed him. Shout out to Kuya from Bicol. I gotta make my way to Bicol eventually. I heard the food over there is known for being spicy, but I heard it's also a beautiful region out here in the Philippines. So walking back and you can start seeing the high-rise buildings. But yeah, that's just proof of how the people are over here and how they're very friendly with the camera, you know, comparing to other countries. But yeah, pretty awesome vibe out here. Here's the shopping center I'm talking about. And this is the other angle of the avenue. But like I say, Shaw Boulevard is pretty massive, so I'm not really covering the entire length. I'm just showing you where the main action is. And here you see the view of the buildings, and then what is this, Unlimited? I think it's a Japanese restaurant. And then what, emergency? Then a car dealership over here, so you can see what's going on. So I can't believe that I really missed this area over here and I never explored. But I mean, that's the beauty about many cities that you go, you know, sometimes within a short visit you can't really see it all. But now that I'm living around here, I can get to explore every area of the city. And this is a good dessert shop in the Philippines called Goldilocks. I like their desserts, especially the ube cake and stuff. They're banging out here. Here you see more. This area is kind of reminding me of Timog Avenue and Tomas Morato Avenue in Quezon City. Just look how cool the buildings are over here. So yeah, this area, you know, has a lot of potential in the future. And here, more things happening. Burritos, Shakey's. Shakey's is a good chain restaurant out here. Then in the corner, they got Dunkin' Donuts. Because believe it or not, Philippines, just like America, runs some Dunkin'. I actually think Dunkin' Donuts here is better than back home in the States. Not only that it's more affordable, but the coffee here tastes better. They got more varieties over here, you know. So yeah, it's really cool. And here you get a view of the buildings I was filming But it's literally like another angle right here, so I want to show you like the other side. You see the angle, busy, the motorbikes. I gotta be careful with the motorbikes too. Respectfully, it's happening anywhere, but you don't want them to snatch your camera or anything, so you know, you always gotta be alert. But in my opinion, Metro Manila, it's pretty safe. You know, a lot of people make it seem like it's hell over here, and it's not. Of course, there are regions, look at this building. There are regions that are good and bad, but that's literally everywhere, including my home, including New York City, so you just gotta know where you gotta go. But there's much more great neighborhoods over here, and people, you know, they respect each other and they look out for each other over here, so it gets nice. Look at this Burger King. They got a lot of fast food chains here in the Philippines, comparing to other Southeast Asian countries. Then here it gets more interesting with the skyline. This building, but they got the spaghetti wires, which is common throughout Southeast Asia. And then here's like a mini mall, and they're decorated with the Christmas. So even in neighborhoods like this, you get a mall. So it's a good concept, because if you're dying of the heat, you can literally shelter inside and get some good air conditioning out here. So here's where it's getting interesting. You see the buildings, and in the background you see Ortigas, which is a nice central business district bordering Mandaluyong and Pasig, but most of it is in the Mandaluyong side. But I'm literally having a blast exploring Shaw Blvd, you know. A lot of actions. I think the main icon also is to explore where the MRT stops, because if it stops there, then that means that's the main street and there's action going on over there. So I'm glad that I randomly picked up this boulevard to explore. Just gotta be careful while I walk around here. Here they got like a strip mall with dental clinics, banks, a couple of business in the first unit, in the first level. Then more apartment complex in the back. So this is like walking distance from the station, the MRT station. This is me walking over here. They got trees, but it's literally blocking the sidewalk. So it forces me to walk like in the corner of the street, and you see the buildings that they got here. Let me see, maybe I can walk here. But I don't want to mess up my shoes. I'll just be extra careful. It's a little slippery, there's water, there's puddle, but hey, that's part of the ventures, you know. Just taking you guys back to me near where the station is. Here you see where the high-rise buildings. These buildings are probably new, the way how they're developed. And it's right across where the golf course is. So, hello, sir. Shout out. Friendly people. And this is the building that I say, it looks literally like the Flatiron District. Holy, it looks the same, yo. Wondering if the architect is the same, or he got inspiration from the Flatiron building in New York City, because it looks literally the same. So, and then at the end you see Ortigas mega malls over that way too. But it's one of the largest malls in the Philippines. I think it's literally slight after Mall of Asia. So these buildings over here, Amaya Sky, is really tall. It's kind of like the same building they have in Cubao by SM Hypermarket. So I guess they have a couple of these chains throughout the metropolitan Manila. Just like they have Blvd Towers, which is all over the Philippines. So I guess they got a couple of businesses and companies over here that provide, you know, condo units like that. So that's really cool. That's very cool to know. I think it's gonna be a perfect spot for me to wrap up my video. You know, I already had a good time here walking this boulevard. And like I said, there's many areas here for me to explore that I'm gonna cover. So that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there. Everybody, God bless y'all. And peace.